Hey guys, welcome to another live session from NZ Pocket Guide. If you guys can't believe it, it's actually live session 91. So we've been with you guys 91 times to help you plan your trip to New Zealand. While Laura is finishing her round of Tetris, which she's currently losing at miserably. I'm going to quick. Yes, you are. She's playing Tetris 99 and she is 19 right now out of 99 people. That's very far from her usual amazing score. All plays bad. Anyway,
okay.
So 91 live sessions we have had, and we're here to answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. Laura, why are we the experts of traveling in New Zealand?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it literally has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan your trip into New Zealand when the borders are open, of course. But we cover everything on NZPocketGuide.com from 2 weeks campervan road trips to full years doing working holidays. We cover all that good stuff on the website. So that's basically the best place to go to get your questions answered when it comes to traveling in New Zealand. But if you're not really into reading, we also do this live Q&A session every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And just so you know, times around the world in Europe, UK and France, that's on a Saturday evening around 9 or 10 p.m. In the US, that's on a Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. PST. I hope I got those the right way around. In India, that is bright and early on a Sunday morning at 1:30 a.m. And in Australia, that is also pretty early at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
And in Dubai, it's 12 a.m.
Good to know. So throughout this live session, we answer your New Zealand travel questions on the live chat. But if you do miss the live session, we also take questions in the comments section of any of our YouTube videos, so we can pull those together and go through those as well during this live session.
All right. So the best place to get your question answered, though, is the live chat right now. So just go ahead and type your questions. We're here to answer all your questions. And as usual, we're reading everything. So Solomon Batur says waiting with a lot of emojis. So, we're here now. Yay.
Yay.
Anthony Comstock says Morena from California, USA. Morena, Anthony. If you guys don't know what Morena means, it means good morning in Maori, which is the local indigenous language. Kirsty Wash, she says hello. I think she's in the UK. Aju says it's 12 a.m. in Dubai, so I guess he's in Dubai. How are you doing, Aju? And Sherry, she says good morning, and she is from Australia. We had Catherine Hegarty that sent us a message today and said she couldn't make it today. So we still have a thought for you, Catherine. Clay Bryant, he's in Dunedin, which is in the southern end of New Zealand, and he says good morning all. Abhishek says hello from India. Oh, Catherine, you're here.
She made it.
Hey guys, I made it. Amazon was able to deliver a new battery. Hi from Newton.
Time. How
did you get a battery delivered within literally the last 5 hours that you left us a message? That's crazy. I mean, Amazon is amazing in the US, but like, wow. And then Amina Said says, hi, how are you doing, Amina? All right, so just to give you a quick heads up of what's happening on the channel this week. So last night we published a video giving an update about an organization here in New Zealand called IEP, which was owned by a company called STA Travel, which went bankrupt. And so that affects a lot of people on working holiday visa in New Zealand. So we did a video for you guys to update you guys on that. Tomorrow we will be publishing, so basically after this video right now, we'll be recording a new video and we will be publishing our take on the prediction for borders opening. So that's going to be our third video for prediction. This time we will try to give you a bit more context on how we actually come up with those predictions, as well as giving you those predictions. And nothing has changed too much, sadly, due to the last, New Zealand had a second wave of COVID-19 in the last few weeks. So due to that, we have pushed a few of our predictions a little bit forward, but hopefully that's going to be helpful to you guys. And we also have recorded a video for you guys about the cost of food in supermarkets in New Zealand, because it looks like you guys really had a lot of questions about that last time. So I made a video for you guys about that. So that should come out around the end of the week as well. We also have a couple of videos of us traveling around. And that should round up to like the next Sunday. That's quite a lot of content for you guys to enjoy. All right, Catherine said that she ordered the battery yesterday, so that's why I arrived so early. All right, so while you guys are getting warmed up with some questions, feel free to hit the like button. It's a great way to tell YouTube that, we're doing an awesome work, and it's a free way to reward us for all our hard work. But we actually did receive a question, which is a full itinerary, which has been a long time.
Yeah.
We spent all our time talking about that damn virus. I'm really happy to change that. Oh, I forgot something. Today is International Cheese Pizza Day.
Cheese pizza as opposed to the non-cheese pizza.
As opposed to pepperoni pizza, which probably is another day.
You can get chocolate pizzas and that sort of thing.
Well,
nowadays.
You can get pepperoni pizzas or chicken pizzas.
Yeah, but it's usually got cheese on it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well.
Anyway.
Put some cheese on your pizzas today. Oh, it's also International...
Silence Day?
No, something... Be late today or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Being late.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
Okay. We weren't too late today.
No, that's true. We were on time. You were playing, but
yeah.
Anyway, let's do an itinerary. I love doing itineraries.
Okay, so we have a question from Kathrikian. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they ask, good day, Rob and Laura. Greetings from Kathik, India. Your videos are awesome, which ignite me and my fiance to plan our honeymoon trip to New Zealand. And we have chosen to explore the South Island only. Our budget is 10,000 New Zealand dollars, and we are more interested in adventure activities that includes a hot air balloon, scuba diving, skydiving, zip lining, heli hiking, the I think they say shooter jet, but maybe shot over jet, swimming with dolphins, whale watching, cruising in Milford Sound, jetavator, parasailing, and stargazing. Also beautiful places of New Zealand. Please help us on the itinerary from where to start and end our trip. Along with local transport, either bus or renting a car would be the best choice, and accommodation, so Airbnb or hostels, that would fit in with our preferred budget. Thank you again.
All right, so there is a lot of information in there, so I really do like that. And so we are going to be trying to go for 2 weeks around the South Island because we don't have a time frame in there. It doesn't really tell us how long he wants to spend here with his wife. But I feel like if you're flying all the way to New Zealand from India, you should spend about 2 weeks here.
Yeah, and if you're just doing one island, usually 2 weeks is a good amount, the good minimum amount of time to just do one island.
You could do it in 1 week, but that'd be a little bit more of a rush. If it's a honeymoon, you want to take your time, you want to treat yourself, and also with a budget of $10,000, you actually have quite a lot of flexibility right here. Yeah. So we'll be able to actually do quite a lot. All right, let's get the map and let's see what we can do.
Do you want to say the places first? And I will.
All right, so on the map, we are going to be putting, so we're going to get you to start in Christchurch, and you're going to go from Christchurch to Kaikoura. Then we're going to go to Nelson. And we're going to pass through Marlborough and try some of the good wines and all that. Then we're going to go to Punakaiki. We're going to go to Franz Joseph. We're going to go to Wanaka. Then we're going to go to Queenstown, Mount Cook.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it. Christchurch back. Yeah,
cool.
Done the whole loop. I was like, wait, Christchurch, did I put Christchurch yet? No, I didn't. Cool.
Do you want to hold it on your side? Or
yeah.
Is that okay?
No, you know what? We put it in the middle today. We do something different every time. All right, I'm going to try not to have too much reflection for you guys. I think like that looks pretty good. Okay, so first up, we are going to get you to get started in Christchurch. Just because it's the largest city on the South Island, it's the only city with a decent international airport. There is an international airport in Queenstown, but the amount of flights are limited, and it's usually just from Australia and everything. So if you're flying from India, you're more likely to get your way to Christchurch. Also, there is more options for car rentals and everything. So get started in Christchurch. It's a bit easier. If you do want to take some extra time in Christchurch, you definitely can. So again, you have we do this itinerary for 14 days, right? And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spot that you're going to go to. So basically, you could almost spend 2 days everywhere. So if you want to spend a day in Christchurch, you can get over the jet lag and all that. There is a fantastic garden, a Christchurch Botanic Garden, just nearby to a museum. There's also the Antarctic Center, which is fantastic. You can check out a lot of history about the exploration of the Antarctic, and you can get really cold down there. There's like a room where you can just get really cold. Anyway, but the garden is more romantic. You're here for a honeymoon, right?
Yeah.
If you are into wildlife and you're interested, head to the Banks Peninsula right here, and you have Akarora right here. So it's a nice day road trip. You go over there, you can swim with tiny dolphins, hector dolphins, and then come back there. It's really, really awesome. There's ton of affordable accommodation in Christchurch as well. And if you want to know more about Christchurch affordable accommodation, on NZ Pocket Guide, we have a list of the best budget accommodation in Christchurch with the link and description of all of them and all that. So super easy. So it's on nzpocketguide.com. Now, once you get over your jet lag and you're ready to head for your road trip, hop on a car or hop in a bus, because at that point you will be able to travel by bus through all those places since you weren't sure which way you wanted to travel by. And you can make your way to Kaikoura.
Yeah, so Kaikoura is most famous for its marine wildlife, particularly sperm whales can be seen there all year round. So you can see those through whale watching cruises. You can see them through whale watching flights, which actually they're very similar price. So it's really worth comparing those two options. And I'm just having a quick look at what you wanted to do on your particular itinerary was swim with dolphins. Are they still doing swim with dolphins in Kaikoura? Because there was a little bit of a thing.
Yeah, they do it in Kaikoura, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Kaikoura is a really good place to swim with dolphins. There's a company there called Dolphin Encounter where they can take you out into the Kaikoura, the water's just off Kaikoura, and you get to swim with a type of dolphin called dusky dolphins, which are really known for being acrobatic and playful. So that's a really good place to go and experience that. But like Robin says, if you don't get to experience in Kaikoura, there's also the option to experience it in Akarewa, just outside of Christchurch.
All right, so next up, we're going to go all the way to Nelson, but we're going to go a little bit up. We're going to stop a little bit in Blenheim, and then we're going to go to Nelson. All right, so you're going to do a little bit of a road trip right here, or if you want to go by bus, you can actually add yourself one stop here as an extra night, and then you can come to Nelson. So the reason why I think you should go to Blenheim is because in the middle of the Marlborough region, and the Marlborough region is one of the best wine region of New Zealand. So if you want that romantic, picturesque lunch or dinner in the vineyards with, wine tasting of some of the best wine of the country, it's definitely one of the most romantic and most honeymoon thing to do. And Blenheim is one of the best place in New Zealand to do that. Fantastic wines and fantastic views over there. So I definitely think that if you're driving around, you should absolutely stop there. Obviously, if you're driving around, only you are drinking or your lady is drinking, but not the person that's driving, because you can't drink and drive, obviously.
But you can still do wine tastings and actually not consume the wine. They have the little spit barrels.
If you want to. But come on, that's a waste of wine. Drink it. All right, so Blenheim, fantastic, and that's great. That's kind of like your romantic kind of lunch and dinner. But we want you to spend some time in Nelson. Same thing in Nelson, there is a ton of budget accommodation, and we do have all the list of the best budget accommodation in Nelson on nzpocketguide.com. And it's your gateway to the Abel Tasman National Park. So if you've seen those pictures of golden sand beaches with, turquoise waters, with beautiful rainforest on the side, it's absolutely amazing. You can go kayaking, you can go hiking there. There is a fantastic canyoning if you want something adventurous.
You can do scuba diving.
There is scuba diving. There is skydiving. There's really a ton of things to do here. So I definitely think that's one of the spots where you want to spend a couple of days. Within the city of Nelson, there's a few extra things to do as well. And you can actually... we'll let you check out the guide of Nelson that we have on the website. But one of the fun things to do is to go to the Jan Hansen jewelry shop. And this is the guys that made the One Ring for the Lord of the Rings movie. So they have a lot of replicas over there. And, it's just kind of cool to see where the props were made. And it's just free. It's literally just a jewelry store. So you can go in there and check that out. But if it's your honeymoon, you may have to splurge some money on some jewelry. So, it's up to you to see if you want to go there or not. All right, so moving on, you're going to have a nice little road trip through the Nelson Lake area to go to Punakaiki.
Yeah.
Take us on a road trip, Laura.
Yeah, so on your way to Punakaiki, you get to pass through the Nelson Lakes National Park, which has a very famous scenic photo stop at the Lake Rotoiti Jetty. So you can stop there, get some photos, enjoy a picnic by the lake, and then continue on your way to Punakaiki. Now, in terms of your adventure activities, there's not a crazy amount of adventure activities to do around Punakaiki, but we find it's a really good place to just stop and relax for a few days, because you've got a lot of really active days to come on this itinerary. So it is good to just, and it's also pretty early on into your trip. So it's a good place to relax and rest. There's a few really cool things to check out there, though. There's the famous Punakaiki Pancake Rocks, which is a very short walk to see some interesting rock features, which are looking like stacked pancakes. There's also the Punakaiki Cavern, which is a small cave you can go and explore on your own. That's really cool to check out as well. And we do have videos on this channel of us basically checking out everything that we're mentioning on this itinerary.
So far, we've done everything. Everything that we mentioned.
So if you are unsure of any activities, or you want to know more about what the activities are like, then it's a good idea to go onto our channel, type in the name of the activity, and we will likely have an activity of us actually doing those activities. Okay.
All right, moving on to the next section of your trip. I'm going to call you Carty because I can't pronounce your name. I hope that we're friend enough for me to shorten your name to Carty. But the next section of your road trip first is going to be fantastic. Road tripping through the West Coast is always mind-blowing. The sceneries are amazing. You just by the mountain, by the seas, in middle of absolutely amazing rainforest. Like, it looks like Jurassic Park everywhere you drive. It's amazing. Yeah. And we're going to send you to Franz Josef. So you say that you wanted to do some heli hiking. Well, Franz Josef is one of the great places to get started. And hear me out, I explain you why. You can do it in Franz Josef Glacier. You can do it in Fox Glacier, which is just right after. And you can do it in Mount Cook. So if you try to do it in Franz Josef Glacier, since it's such a weather-dependent activity, and you can't make it in Franz Josef, you always have Fox Glacier on the next day, during your road trip, and you always have Mount Cook afterwards. So that's a great place to kind of consider doing that right here. So heli hiking on the glacier, I'm pretty sure if it's on your list, you already know what that is, but there is a video on the channel of us doing this exact activity. If you want something a bit more relaxing afterwards, you can go to the glacier hot pool. Super romantic. They are absolutely stunning hot pools, and you can even get private hot pools if you want to just be you and your newly lady. Moving on, you can drive all the way to Wanaka, and you can stop in Fox Glacier if you didn't get to do the heli hike in Franz Josef. But you can head to Wanaka, and in Wanaka, it's just I'm going to keep going. In Wanaka, well, it's a nice sunset walk by the lake. It's literally just to break up your drive from going all the way to Queenstown. So that's pretty much it. Just one night, walk by the lake, just kind of relax, take in the sceneries. You're going to have a really fantastic drive through the Haast Pass. It's really beautiful. So take the whole day to drive and just arrive at sunset, walk by the lake, and you'll be like, oh, I'm the king of the world.
Yeah.
And then you're going to move on to Queenstown.
Okay, so you have a lot of adventure activities on your wish list, on your itinerary. So most of these you can actually do in Queenstown. So it would be good to spend 2 or even 3, 4 days in Queenstown. So
you have just so many activities to do there. So
yeah, so one thing you wanted to do was go visit Milford Sound. You could do this on a bus tour, which is a good way to, have a break from driving, because yes, traveling around New Zealand is a lot of driving. And, if you want a break from that, then a good option is to take a bus tour to Milford Sound, which is a full day tour.
I can do it. Oh, okay.
Wow, what is wrong with that, Rob?
No, that's
beautiful.
This will haunt me at night.
Yeah. So, so that one option is to go by bus and back as part of a bus tour. Another option is to take a scenic flight there and perhaps take a bus tour back, or take a scenic flight there and back. And they're both really good ways to get to Milford Sound. And then once you arrive, there's a ton of different cruises you can take to enjoy the beautiful Milford Sound, which I'm sure you've heard about. You know what it is, so I don't need to go too much into detail what that is.
If it's on your list, you know what it is.
Alternatively, since you wanted to do scuba diving, if you wanted to drive down to Milford Sound and maybe spend overnight in there, then there is the option to do scuba diving over there. But that's very weather dependent, and Milford Sound is known for being a very rainy part of the country. But the scuba diving there is quite unique. You get to see something called black coral, which traditionally you could only see very deep, like in a very deep dive in the ocean. But in Milford Sound, because of the darkness of the water, it allows you to see it a little bit further up. So that's quite a unique sort of activity to do there. In Queenstown also, you can do, what else do you have on your list? You have Shotover Jet. So Shotover Jet is based in Queenstown. You have Jetovator, which I think is the sort of thing where you
on the feet.
Yeah.
So it's in Queenstown as well. So that's a kind of a hoverboard with jet of water underneath.
Yeah. So like water jet hoverboarding thing, that's in Queenstown as well. You can do parasailing in Queenstown, and I think that is pretty much it. Zip lining as well. That's also eco tour. What were they called? The ziplining, eco tour.
Oh, you can actually do ziplining in Abel Tasman. I will do it more in Abel Tasman. If I were you, I'll do in Abel Tasman.
Okay.
Because when you do canyoning, there's like one zipline in there, so I'll do that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But otherwise, there is Eco Zip in Queenstown.
Eco Zip, that's the one.
So you get up the gondola and you do that. That'll be your most accessible one. But I think if you're into ziplining, you should try canyoning instead.
Yeah. Okay, so that is
moving on.
That is a whole bunch of stuff to do in Queenstown, and next you've got quite a long road.
I'm not done about Queenstown. I want to say something.
Oh yeah.
I want to say something about Queenstown. So Queenstown is reputably quite expensive to travel into. So you will have to actually plan ahead and make sure to book your accommodation ahead of your trip if you actually want to be able to save some money on accommodation. We do have the list of the best budget accommodation in Queenstown, but you may also want to be looking into backpacker hostels. And we do have a list on NZ Pocket Guide of the best hostels in Queenstown. And therefore, you'll be able to save quite a lot of money because it's very easy to spend quite a few thousand on accommodation in Queenstown. I just wanted to point that out because, Carty said he was on the budget. So
yeah.
Sorry, I always have to read your name. It's really hard for me to pronounce. I hope we did okay. Okay, Mount Cook, fantastic place to go. The cheapest scenic flight you're gonna find, Mount Cook 360, run by a company called InFlight. It's really fantastic. You can also do heli hike with Mount Cook Glacier Guides. If you didn't get to do it anywhere else, you can also take a ski plane and literally just fly, just check out the whole Southern Alps and literally land on top of the glacier where there's some snow and get out of the plane. And then after you take off from there, it's a fantastic experience. It's not too expensive. It's definitely worth doing. So Mount Cook is fantastic. And the drive to Mount Cook and from Mount Cook to Christchurch are phenomenal. So make sure you take yourself one entire day to go from one place to the other because you're going to love it. Rounding it up, you go back to Christchurch if you have one extra day. They definitely take the time to check out all the cafes and the places to kind of stuff yourself. Also, the good thing with Christchurch is that it's way less expensive than Queenstown to buy all your souvenirs. So if you want to buy some souvenirs for all friends and family, you can do all your shopping right here in Christchurch before flying back home.
And then before you leave, Christchurch the area of Christchurch, the area surrounding Christchurch is the place where you can do your hot air ballooning with Canterbury ballooning.
In the Canterbury Plains,
Yeah.
All right, so that is the honeymoon itinerary for 2 weeks in the Southland with budget accommodation and $10,000 to spend. All those places are accessible by bus or by car. I think that traveling by car will make it a little bit more flexible for you, but it's definitely up to you. And we do have a ton of itineraries on nzpocketguide.com. So you can click on nzpocketguide.com. There's a link in the description below. And you click on trip IDs. And there's a ton of itineraries with all the information that we have and much more with link to accommodation and all that is done by the two of us. And it's all free of charge. So you may want to check that out. In the meantime, if you did find this video useful, like and subscribe. It's a great way to say thank you for all our hard work and to get to see more awesome videos about traveling in New Zealand. All right, let's go back to the live chat. What has been happening in the meantime? Okay, so I was saying what day was and everything. It's actually Father's Day in New Zealand and Australia. So happy Father's Day to all the father. Dear Dad, happy Father's Day. Do you want to say happy Father's Day to your dad?
Happy Father's Day.
Yay. I can't believe I forgot that one. That's quite funny. We had some really good questions, so we'll go through them. But I'll go through the comments quickly. Kiwi Loren says hi from Canada. How are you doing, Kiwi Loren? You're not starting your job just yet? I remember you were saying that you were doing some musical something that you're not going to be able to join us for a while. When are you starting that? Okay, she says, I've never seen a kiwi bird. The bird, not the people or the fruit. What are my best bets to see one next time I come to New Zealand? Also, they are so much bigger than I thought they were. Yeah, they actually are quite big.
Yeah.
We actually have a full video, Kiwi Lauren, about where are the best places to see kiwi birds. So you may want to check this one out where we're actually going to go for as usual, we talk about 15 minutes about the best places to check them out. And I give some griefs to Laura because I got to see one in a while and she didn't. She missed it.
Yeah.
Abhishek says, hi, when border will open for Indians. I've submitted my partnership visa application in February 2020. Abhishek, we actually have a video coming out tomorrow, so you may want to hit the subscribe button. We have a full video coming up tomorrow. We are going to record it a little bit later on today, and we will talk about all that, and we're going to give you a lot of context to what our prediction. But so far right now, we do not know. So the video is going to be all about our predictions, but we do not know just yet. Jeff Kodzi has a question about campervan versus hotel or hostels. Jeff, we're going to answer all the quick questions that we're having right now, and then we're going to talk about that for quite a while, because I think that's going to be an interesting debate.
Yeah.
So hold on a minute. Sherry says, do you think it's possible to go between Auckland and Matamata, stopping at Cathedral Cove, Coromandel, Thames, Paora, and Hotwater Beach in one day, or do you think that will be too rushed?
Too rushed.
Way too rushed. Way too. That is 2 days trip right here. No, way too rush. You're just not going to enjoy yourself. You're going to get really tired, and you're just going to check quickly this, quickly that. And Hotwater Beach is extremely...
it's dependent on the tide. So, so you have to get to Hotwater Beach at low tide in order to actually experience the hot pools there. So timing that as well would probably be a little tricky. But yeah, and also from Auckland going to those areas, Coromandel, they're right on the east coast, so that's quite a long drive, and then you're driving down and then back over into the center of the North Island. Yeah, I'm sure it is doable all in one day. I'm sure Google Maps will say it takes you about 5 hours to do it all without stopping, but to actually do the activities in between, that would be very rushed.
Yeah. Even just going to Cathedral Cove, it's there's a trek and everything to get there. I mean, it's not a big trek, but you got to get there, you got to take your few pictures and everything.
Yeah.
So all right, what else do we have? Extreme Talota, which are in Tokoroa, they say, Morena, how are you guys? We're doing pretty well. How about you? Azar Ahmad say hi. How are you doing, Azar? Martina Sten, she says hi from Northern Germany. Thank you for joining us another week, Martina. That's awesome to have you on board. Michael Mariano, which is in Hawaii, says good morning and aloha. And there's also an ungodly amount of emojis as per his usual. King Kuba Official says, how to apply for New Zealand visas? Head to immigration.govt.nz. That's immigration.govt.nz. And you're going to have all the information right here. You even have like online quizzes that tell you which visa you should apply for. And once you figure out which visa you want, you click straight away and you have your form, everything to fill. It's super well explained on their website. Sai Teja says, is there any chances of opening borders for international students for February 2021 intake? Sai, we do have a video about student visas in the coronavirus. So we actually give you our train of thought right now. So at this stage, the only thing I can tell you is maybe we are thinking that students may be able to come to New Zealand earlier than other type of travelers, just because students can cope for the quarantine, because you come here for a longer period of time, and 2 weeks quarantine just help you start reading your books. But it's not sure. Nothing has been put on paper just yet. So I will strongly advise you to check our video on student visas, just to give you a bit of an idea of a bit of the context of what's happening currently in New Zealand. So if you just head onto the channel, you will find this video. It's red and yellow, and it says like coronavirus student visa update or something like that. Kiwi Loren says, teaching musical theater, singing starting next Saturday. So she's doing great. Thanks for asking. Great to see you again in the live chat. So that's the last week we're seeing you, Kiwi Loren. Is that what you're saying? Oh. And Extreme Talota says, Kapai, he's good. Kua Tino Pukumahi Aho. I hope I pronounced that correctly, and I hope I didn't offend anyone.
I've been so busy.
Really busy. Cool. All right, guys. So Jeff wants us to have a bit of a debate. So Laura, which one do you want to take? I take one, you take the other, and we just go back and forth.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can take Campervans.
All right. Cool. So Jeff is on the live chat right now. He's asking us to compare Campervan versus hotel or hostels. All right, so that's a big debate when you are traveling around New Zealand. Should you rent a campervan and just kind of, stay around and sleep in your campervan along the way when traveling around New Zealand? Or should you just rent a car and save some money on that rental, but you will have to stay in hostel or hotel around the country? So it's a question that we actually have debated a few times before, but I think we're going to do a little bit of a different format right now, where I'm going to be on the side of hostel and hotels, and I'm going to give you an argument on why you should pick that, and then Laura is going to give an argument on why you should pick the campervan, and we'll go back and forth until we run out of arguments, and you decide which one is best.
Yeah.
So I think that staying in the hostel and the hotels give you a better night of rest. So you just drive around the country, and then you arrive in a hotel. You're just checking in. The bed's already made. It's usually more comfortable, and you usually have a better night of rest when staying in a hotel.
Okay, so on the flip side of that, in a camper van, you, although, maybe you don't have as comfortable of a rest as in a hostel or a hotel, the good thing is that you don't have to actually unpack every time you go to a different type of accommodation. Usually you arrive in your camper van, you set it out the way that you want, you know where all your things are. Usually there's space just for your suitcase, and you just, take your stuff out of your suitcase as you're going. But that makes things a little bit easier than having to cart all your luggage in and out of hotels and hostels all the time.
All right. What I like about traveling by car and then staying in hostel and hotels as well is that I do save a lot of money on my rental and on my gas. Gas is quite expensive in New Zealand, so a small car will actually cost less gas. And rental cars, can set you up. You can get some really cheap in the high season. You can get some really cheap cars for like about $30 to $40 a day only, while campervan can rent you, depending if you go for RVs or smaller campervan, but that can rent you up to almost $200 to $250 a day.
Yeah, so it's true that campervans are, first of all, have a more expensive rental rate, and second of all, they are going to use more fuel than your average, than your normal car. And again, the price ranges range from it's much more expensive to get an RV compared to getting a small camper van or just a small van for two people. But the way that you can save money is that if you do get a self-contained camper van, this needs to be certified. It's a special thing in New Zealand where it's certified with a blue sticker on your camper van with a little logo in there. That means that you are self-contained, that you have a rubbish bin on board, you have a toilet, and you have a wastewater system going on in there. And that means that you can do freedom camping in New Zealand, which means that you can go to certain designated spots around the country to basically not have to pay for accommodation. You just pack up and enjoy the night free of charge. So that's one way to save money with your camper van. But there are some obviously downsides to that as well, but maybe we'll keep on going with our
when it comes to save money, obviously if you do travel by car, I think that you can stay in hostels and you will be able to find yourself hostel bunks for about between $20 to $30 a night, or hostel private rooms for between $50 and $70 a night. Hotels prices are always a little bit all over the place, but that will run you between, motel hotels will run you between 75 to, let's say, 200. I mean, you can always find $1,000 night somewhere, but you're not necessarily going to go for that. So when you want to save some money, you can also stay in smaller accommodation. I mean, just my opinion. Okay, what I like about traveling by car in New Zealand is that it is way easier to drive, it's easier to park, and also it's cheaper to get on the ferry.
Yeah, so with camper vans, it depends on what sort of camper van you get and what sort of what you feel comfortable with driving. Some people might find the large motorhomes quite intimidating to drive and park up. But again, it really depends on the driver if they are confident with driving large vehicles or not. And if they are, they're quite modern vehicles, so they are quite easy to drive. For instance, Robin and I actually drove around New Zealand using a very old motorhome, which was not easy to drive. It didn't have power steering, for instance. So that's not going to be the experience that you get if you rent a camper van in New Zealand. Usually they are modern vehicles that are easier to drive, despite being bigger. But there are options to get the sort of smaller, high top vans, which Robin has experience driving in. And I think there was not really much complaints there in terms of driving.
I think the high tops, they're a little bit annoying to drive when there's some wind. They kind of tend to flip a little bit like that, but otherwise they're kind of okay to drive.
So obviously you need to drive a little bit more, be a bit more wary when you're driving camper vans, but usually they're pretty easy to drive once you sort of get the hang of it and know that you can't go super fast everywhere. You just have to take it easy. It's still pretty easy to drive a camper van, I'd say.
What I like about traveling by car and staying in hotel or hostels around New Zealand is that I'm not just staying in my own bubble. When traveling by car and staying in a hostel, you usually are able to cook in a kitchen with a lot of other travelers. You can chat, you can organize going all on a hike the next day. You get to meet a lot of people. And I really do enjoy the fact that it actually forces you to meet kind of a ton of people and interact with a lot of people.
Yeah. So with a camper van, you do get the benefit of having your own privacy within your camper van, which is really nice. You're not having to, if you're not really into staying in hostels and sharing bunk dorms with people that you don't know, you do have that privacy in your own camper van. But you do also have the option of meeting other people when you stay in campsites or holiday parks. And I'll talk a little bit more about holiday parks now, because this is something that you're likely to have to stay in a few times during your road trip around New Zealand. Now, the reason being is that if you want to do freedom camping, that means that you're going to be using the power supply of your camper van quite a lot. And usually once every 3 days, you need to go somewhere and pack up and plug in your camper van into the electricity supply so that you basically recharge all the batteries of your camper van and you can still make it function. So you will have to go into a holiday park in order to do this. But in holiday parks, there are some good communal areas, and usually when you can go and use a communal kitchen and meet people there if you want to. There's usually, if you're traveling with kids and stuff, there's playgrounds and stuff, so the kids can go off and go into the playgrounds and meet other kids, that sort of thing. So there are ways to make it more of a social experience if you want to, but you also have that choice of just sort of keeping with your own group as well.
Yeah, and so what I like also to travel with a car when traveling around New Zealand is that usually you get to fit more than 2 people in the car. Quite often in a camper van, you are restricted to the first 2 front seats.
Yeah, so it depends on what size of camper van that you get. Smaller camper cars, which are basically sort of like the size of people carriers, but they have a bed in the back. They definitely only fit 2 people. When you get to having some of the sort of like high top vans, they start to fit a few more people, maybe 4 people. But then
has seat 4 people in
there.
there.
You can. In the back, they have like seats.
Oh yeah,
they do, but that's when it they have it, but it's quite cramped.
Yeah.
If you're traveling with more people, usually 4 to 6 people, then that's when it's best to get a motorhome. They have proper seats in the back for everyone there. So yeah, it depends on your group size, but tends to be a little bit more cramped, I guess, in camper vans.
All right, so that's kind of a lot of pros and cons about both of those ideas. But one of the big misconceptions when trying to travel, trying to decide if you should get a camper van or get a car and go to hostel and hotels, is that one would be way cheaper than the other. So it's really important for us to kind of put that through. Traveling with a camper van in New Zealand is not necessarily going to save you a lot of money, because you do have to regularly go and stay in holiday parks as well, because the rental is more expensive. And because usually you're going to spend more money on gas. So comparing that to hostel, it's definitely not going to save you a ton of money and, divide by half the cost of your trip. Don't believe all the blogs that you see online that say those kind of things. Some of the blogs, they literally have like the calculation of their cost. And we run through those, and we are traveling in New Zealand very regularly. And I can tell you they are currently absolutely wrong. Well, where was I with that? Oh yeah. So if you do stay in hostels, it's very comparable cost between both of them. If you start wanting to stay in hotels and everything, the cost of staying in those more premium accommodation will definitely drive up, and then that's going to be more expensive to do car and hotels and those kind of things. That would definitely be more expensive than doing the RV. Also, one of the things that you need to keep in mind is, do you have the right to drive an RV in New Zealand? There are some companies that wouldn't give you those big RVs if you are under 24. And all those kind of things. So you do have to know all those kind of things and take them into consideration, as well as insurance as well. All right. So I think that gives you a bit of an understanding. If I have to pick one solution, I personally will definitely pick the car. And that's why I picked this one first, just because I also do like the flexibility of being, it's just an easy drive to go to, down that gravel road, because, you want to go do that hike and everything like that. And I feel like you have a bit less freedom when you're traveling with an RV. So I will personally pick this one. But Laura tends to love sleeping under the stars and being able to just walk out and just look there. But I feel like you do the same thing from the hotel, but it's just my personal taste. So she probably will say she picked the campervan.
Yeah, I think it's like if you want to sort of experience the great outdoors and all that good stuff, then campervans are usually a little bit more appealing. They're usually like campgrounds and holiday parks are usually by some nice walks and stuff, so you can combine those experiences together. But also bear in mind that when you're looking for campgrounds around New Zealand, usually South Island in summer is very busy, and the campsites are very busy. So you kind of want, I would say a campervan road trip is really good, but not in the height of summer.
No.
Usually spring and autumn is a good time to have a campervan. It's not fun to stay in the campervan
when it's really hot anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Jeff, I hope that this answered your question. I hope that you did find that useful. And if you guys are rewatching this video and your name is not Jeff and you did find that useful, feel free to like the video. Just hit the like button. It's a free way to say thank you for all our hard work. It tells YouTube that we do useful content. And also subscribe if you want to see more awesome stuff about New Zealand. Let's go back to the live chat. All right, what did we miss? Where were we? Catherine says,
what got you into traveling?
What got you into traveling and why New Zealand? You are very passionate about your experience there in New Zealand. Once the border open up, where will you go next? When the border open up, we are going to some of the South Pacific Islands. We need to warm up. We are very cold right now. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
What got us into traveling? I started traveling quite young, and then I just never stopped. I really enjoy hopping from countries to countries. And then when you arrive in New Zealand and you see the country, you just don't want to stop exploring. It's just as simple like that for me. What about you?
Well, I think I'm more into, in terms of the things things that in life that make me happy, instead of buying loads of stuff and filling your house with great things, I prefer more having experiences and having just going to see awesome places and that sort of thing is just the thing that appeals to me a bit more. So that's kind of why I'm more into traveling.
All right, where's we are? Michael Mariano, he's chipping in and says campervan all the way. So here you go. Someone was on your side, Laura. Extreme Talota says he's got to go. Head over to Rotorua before the rugby league starts. I'm referring to the first game. Nice. So he's a referee for rugby. Rugby is probably one of the most popular sports in New Zealand. Kiwi Lauren says, what's the best cell phone network in New Zealand? No, I'm not kidding, but honest question. What does your SIM card care only store your phone number and contact?
I think you meant to say, does your SIM card only store your phone number and contacts?
Will I still have all my music when I switch over? Okay, no. So you will still, when you change your SIM card, your phone, you're still going to have all your music and all your data on your phone. For your contact, if you saved your contact into the SIM card, then they will be in your SIM card. If you save them into your phone, then they will be into your phone. So it depends on what setting you set on your phone.
Yeah.
The best cell phone network in New Zealand, we actually have a video about that as well on the channel, Kiwi Lauren. But from the top of my head, I think that's the Spark network. And if you want to get the same network but cheaper, it's a company called Skinny Mobile. They use the Spark network but at discounted price. And that's the one that we actually do use.
Yeah.
But check out the video on that. Clay Bryant says, when we're done the West Coast trip, we stayed in campgrounds and had our big tent. Don't do that. Pack up, pack down, pack up, pack down. Each stop, never again, haha. Yeah, that is the one thing. If there is a comparison, I will literally not even do a video about it. I will say point blank, don't just travel by tent and car. I will hate that. Just the whole faffing about.
Yeah.
It's you waste an hour every single day or more when you're traveling around New Zealand. What a waste of time.
Yeah.
So much
and
hassle.
The amount that it rains in New Zealand as well. Like chances are you're going to spend at least a few nights putting up your tent in the rain. It's just, I'm not sure that's
I could not agree
to
more with you, Clay. Thank you guys for all the comments, by the way. We will read everything. I know we're a little bit behind, but you guys are awesome. Kiwi Lauren says, I have a personalized plate that says Kai Pai,
cool.
Good conversation starter for Canadian who don't know what it means. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really... Sherry says, do you know when the football season is? I'd love to see the All Blacks or the Warrior play if possible. Oh, it's controversial right here. It's rugby, not football. I think that some Kiwis are going to be grumpy if you call that football. So it's rugby.
I think it's like
the season actually starts kind of right now. It's just at the end of the winter season. Usually it starts. So it's spring right now in New Zealand. So I think it's supposed to start in the next few days or weeks actually.
Well,
It's
Extreme
really solid.
Toyota is going to
he's going to referee the first game actually in Rotura, like today or tomorrow. So here you go. So yeah, no, it starts now. The rugby season. So yeah, you'll be able to see that, and you'll be able to see the Warriors play. The All Blacks play mostly international games, so that's much more spread out. And so it's more of a kind of an event. So you can go actually on the All Blacks website. You can see when do they play. But to see the Warriors plays, pretty easy. Anyway, the season is starting about now. MB 1968, which is in Wellington. How are you doing, MB? He says, "Nah, Lauren." No, not Lauren Sherry. I think he's replying. Yeah, he's replying to Sherry.
I mean Sherry.
Yeah. So it's now. Okay, now.
Yeah, he probably knows them more than we do, to be honest. We're not huge rugby fans, so we don't really follow the rugby. But yeah, so we're probably not the best people to ask. But MB probably knows his stuff. Yeah.
All right, Catherine Hegarty is treating us with a million different emojis. Wow. So we have a wave, we have a skydive, we have a beach, we have a gas pump, we have a car, we have a campervan, we have a what is that? It's a prawn. Then we have, I think it's a bathtub, or it's a bowl of ramen,
steak.
And then the steak. That is a lot of emojis. Anyway, she says, I have to agree with Robin when driving. One need a good night, a rest, and sleep. So here you go. Someone's on my side as well. So it's controversial. Jeff, it looks like you stirred the pot a little bit. Actually, Jeff, you have to tell us what you're going to pick. Like out of that discussion, which one do you lean more toward?
Yeah, like, I feel like they're so...
Tell us who's the winner.
Yeah, they're so similar in terms of their cost and stuff. It's just, it is quite hard to... at the end of the day, you just go with the one that you feel like... There's one that appeals to people more, so it's just going with what appeals to you.
Yeah, you're about to embark in a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and you're going to spend a lot of money coming to New Zealand. It costs a lot of money to fly over and do your trip and everything. You've got to get the thing that's going to make you the best memory, make that trip worth it. You're spending a lot of dough coming to New Zealand. You are wasting a lot of CO2 to on the planet, because traveling is very costly environmentally. So you have to at least have the best experience possible out of that extreme cost. So tell us what you're going to decide. Beverly Gibson says, have you ever had any experience making your own punamu, NZ jade, carving like pendants? I'm thinking about Hokitika in particular. Have we ever?
Yes, you can actually check our video of us doing that very activity in Hokitika.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did.
You can watch us for 10 minutes doing that.
Yeah, we did jade carving with a company called Bones and Stones in Hokitika, but we've also done it in Stewart Island with a company called Rakiura Jade, and we've done something quite similar. It's not jade carving, but we've done bone carving with a place called Skeleton Bone Carving Crew, something like that, and they're based near
Skeleton Crew Carving Studio.
That's the one, and they're based near Punakaiki, between Punakaiki and Barrytown on the west coast. So yeah, we've had lots of experiences to do with carving your own pendants and stuff. So, and we do have videos on everything I've just mentioned also on the channel. So have a look on YouTube, type greenstone carving, jade carving. You'll probably see our face there somewhere. So check out those videos.
Yeah. And if you don't find it, you type greenstone carving and then you put NZ Pocket Guide on the search bar of YouTube, and then they will just pop the video of us, and then you'll be able to find, or just type carving and then NZ Pocket Guide, and it's going to be even easier. You get all our carving videos just there. So carving, NZ Pocket Guide, and bam, you'll be like, what? It's so awesome. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Beverly. But yeah, seriously, you can see us doing the whole carving, and we do through like drawing what we want it to look like and all that. And if you look, the Hokitika is probably the worst result because we came up with way too hard of design.
Complex designs. Yeah.
I think we got much better when we went. Then we went to the bones and to the
Rakiura Jade.
No, the next thing that we did was the bone carving.
Yeah.
So with the Skeleton Crew carving, and then we did this one, and we had much more realistic expectations. So I think the result was better. And then last we did the Rakiura Jade, and we went with like very classic kind of shapes and forms and everything. And I think we had the more authentic kind of results.
Yeah.
So that's the order in which I think you should watch them. So the Hokitika first, then the bone carving, and then the other one. Just so you see our progression and the mastery of our art. Cool. Sherry thanks MB, so awesome. Jeff say thank you, awesome. Shush or Sush say, I heard New Zealand has great outdoor activities. What are your favorites? I'll pick one right now. I did love skydiving over Franz Josef Glacier.
Mine's a bit boring. I like hiking.
Yeah, here you go. So yeah, a ton of them. I mean, you check out our channel. We have hundreds and hundreds of videos of us doing activities. I think we have over 400 videos of us doing different activities around New Zealand. So yeah, ton of them.
Yeah.
He says also, how do you guys meet your fitness goal? Our fitness goals are non-existent. We're just kind of healthy in general. So we eat really healthy. We make all our food from scratch, even our pastas and everything like that. So we try to make everything from scratch. So we don't eat anything too like chemicals and everything. And yeah, we do some sports regularly. So we play squash regularly just together, just because
that's racquetball to all you Americans.
Racquetballs, yeah, because
I learned that this morning.
Because squash, they probably were trying to squash some insect on the wall, while racket and the ball, is useful. Anyway, so yeah, we play racquetball just because it's just kind of a fun game to play together. But also, we kind of outdoors in New Zealand, kind of draws you outdoors. So we go on a hike super often. You see us doing so many activities on the channel, and you see what we do. And so yeah, we just kind of like to keep ourselves busy. And when we are working on writing, talking about the election whatsoever, where we are, in the round field where you can tap the ball like that, and what? Australian Aussie football is like okay, I'm very confused now. I think footy is
froze again.
Okay. Oh, come on. It seems to froze every single time.
It's back
at the same time every week. It's just really annoying. YouTube, come on.
Okay, let's just.
Michael Marino says, "Oh no, I forgot to pray the internet gods again." Okay, it looks like we're back. So let's keep going back. So, Kiwi Lauren says, "I was joking about the network. You read my question wrong, but I'm bugging you because you've answered that question a million times."
There's a lot of questions we've answered a million times, so we wouldn't even know if you were joking or not.
It doesn't matter because we don't expect everybody to watch. Look, this is live session 91, Kiwi Lauren. I don't expect people to watch 91 hours of us answering questions. So I get it. Some people, they just want their question answered because they just have it right here, right now. So sometimes we point out to a video because we know that video has much more information. Sometimes we just do it again and again and again and again. Honestly, I actually think we compared traveling by car and staying in a hotel with Campervan. We
did one very similar. It was Campervan versus getting in a car and going to Airbnbs, which is essentially the same thing.
But it's okay, that and also, the more we travel around New Zealand, even if it's a year or two later, you end up having a different take and you're having up-to-date information, everything. So for us, it really doesn't matter to answer the question multiple times. MB is talking to Sherry, so that's fine. Clay say night one hast pouring down. Oh yeah, he's talking about his experience in sleeping in tents in the west coast of.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, night one hast pouring down. Tent pegs bending as ground is more stone than dirt. Family watching me from the hangar kitchen with the opposite look on their face than I had. Ha ha.
That's funny.
Yeah. If you have kids, it's to put them to work. So put them to work on that tent and you watch them from the kitchen. What the hell? You pay for all the food on the trip and you drive the car. They can get to work.
Do you trust kids to put up a tent well?
No, I don't trust anyone to putting a tent well on the west coast of the South Island when it rains. Anyway, don't do that. And MB says the New Zealand infrastructure for internet is awesome. It's slightly better than Somalia, Lord. Yeah, it's great knowing that we content creators on YouTube and on our website and everything, and the internet is always a character. Okay, Jeff is gonna tell us a little bit about what he decided between car and Campervan. He says, I think with the Campervan because I have more option of where to stay and not be tied to a schedule except when I fly out. Maybe I may be headed one place but see something else and decide to stop. That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you do travel in a high season in New Zealand and you're planning on staying in any holiday park or Department of Conservation campsite, you will still need to either be early for the Department of Conservation because it's first in, first served. There is limited numbers in each of them, or you will still need to book for your holiday park because we have experienced many times holiday parks where it's fully booked.
Yeah. And also, if you're looking for places to stop to, park up for free, we do have an article on NZ Pocket Guide, which is the freedom camping laws region by region, because each region in New Zealand has different rules as to where you can park for free for the night. So if you sort of have the expectation that you can just sort of drive around and just park anywhere and camp the night, that's really not the way that it works in New Zealand. You have to you almost have to also plan where you're going to be stopping so that you can camp up for free for the night. So
I don't think the amount of planning will differ between both types of travel.
Yes, you will still have to plan on where you're going to actually stay.
Beverly Gibson says, thanks for having so many helpful videos. I've been to Stones and Bones. Didn't do carving, however. When I go back someday, I want to make my own.
They didn't do carving?
What?
Oh, she didn't do carving. Yeah. Okay.
Serge says, thank you. You're very welcome. ZDX says, squash is a really fun game. I like to play it with my friend too. Nice.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun, eh? Okay, everybody's talking about throws again. ZDX says, thanks for many helpful videos. I need new information on the border opening. Many countries changed their policy lately due to a bigger knowledge base about COVID-19, etc. I want to come to New Zealand for studying for his master. ZDX, tomorrow morning we're having a video that comes out with our updated border openings. So we are going to record that a little bit later on today. So check that out tomorrow morning. Make sure to hit subscribe so you get notification for that. But just keep in mind that we're having an election in October, and if the government change the border policies of New Zealand, it's probably going to change drastically as well. So let's just take all those predictions as what they are, which are prediction. And during this video, it's going to be a little bit longer than the usual prediction videos, because we want to give you a lot of context on why we're making those predictions. So we'll take the time to give you a bit more background on each of our prediction and why. Hopefully that's going to help you understand that they are just prediction and what we base them on. And we want to be wrong. Again, all our prediction, we want to be wrong, and we want to stop talking about all this nonsense, and we just want to go back to talking about just traveling in New Zealand. Michael Mariano says, Robin and Laura has been part of Saturday brunch. Oh, that's cool. What are you having? I'm hungry. What are you having? Well, this is happening. Jeff says, when using a campervan to tour New Zealand, what app do you recommend? I will use Garmin if I were you. I know you have to spend a little bit of money to buy the New Zealand map, but Garmin is a pretty good one. That's what we use.
In terms of GPS.
Yeah, it's GPS. It's about $8.99. I think to get the New Zealand dollars, I think it's $8.99 to get the map. I can't remember how much I paid. But that's about that price is probably going to be about $5 or something. It's definitely worth getting that over Google Map, in my opinion. I think there is a company called TomTom as well. That does these kind of things as well. But the one I know is Garmin. MB is asking to Kiwi Lauren where in Canada she is. And Kiwi Lauren asks, what are your favorite New Zealand musical artists, solo artists, band, etc.? I feel pretty nostalgic every time I hear Crowded House. I don't really listen to music much, so Flight of the Conchords, does it count? I don't really listen to music. We don't. We're not really into. I guess we're not really up on the music scene of anywhere in the world, to be honest. We don't even listen to. We're not big music fans, I'm afraid. So even knowing some New Zealand musical artists, we're pretty. We don't know much. I don't know. So don't know. But MB gives you body count, Ice-T, lol. I don't. Maybe that. I don't think Ice-T is New Zealand.
Maybe.
I thought Ice-T was the guy with It was like back with Eminem and stuff like that, isn't he?
Are you thinking of Vanilla Ice?
I don't know. Anyway. God, you guys know you can see my knowledge of music right here. I'm completely stumped. All right, who else is happening? Michael Marino answers to Jeff. He says, if you have to book a campervan early and you check again the price have changed, try asking the company if they can do a price adjustment, just a tip. Definitely do that. But usually if you book early, you get it cheaper than if you book late. Bacon potatoes with a glass of wine for my ex-wife girl. Okay, cool. Thank you, Snitch9. That's probably what he's eating. Jeff says thanks to. Okay, Mac Gee says, do you have any idea that commercial flight will start opening? I got a flight to Bangkok in January 2021 with Thai Airways. Not sure I can fly or not. Cheers. So Mac Gee, we do have a video coming up tomorrow with our predictions of border openings, and so this is when we think, like, most commercial flight will reopen. And we also have a video that explains what commercial flights are run by New Zealand at the moment, so we have that already on the channel. So but flight in January 2021 for Thailand, I think it's a tough one, man. I think if I were you, I'd cancel, get my refund right now, and I'll rebook it closer to the date if that's happening. That's what I would do. Sherry says, what do you guys listen to on the road? I like to listen to music from films, like I like to just put Star Wars original soundtrack, or
like
Pirates of the Caribbean,
instrumental music, and
Pirates of the Caribbean, or Lord of the Rings instrumental soundtrack, those kind of things. I like Requiem for a Dream instrumental soundtrack. If you guys have heard of that, I do really like that piece. So yeah, just those kind of things. That's more what I listen. When people speak over the music, it just drives me nuts. I'm like, don't tell me what you feel or what you think about.
Speaking is singing, Robin.
Yes, singing. That's my personal taste, right? I don't like when people are doing verbal stuff over the music. Just let me music, let me dream about what I want to dream, what your music inspired me to. Don't tell me what I should be inspired by, or what I should think of when I get inspired by your music. Hey, just obviously that. So yeah, sometimes I listen to Daft Punk, actually.
Which is more instrumental music.
Yeah, sometimes they say like around the world, about 20,000 times.
Which kind of just drowns into the rest of the music, I guess.
Yeah, so, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, that's basically the kind of music we're listening to. Really not too much else.
Yeah.
Okay, he's an American rapper. I told you Ice-T was an American rapper.
Okay.
It wasn't New Zealand. What are you on about? You see, I know my music. Kiwi Lawrence, I found so many Garmin apps. Which one are you using? What are you on about? Garmin's like one brand.
Maybe there's various different Garmin apps.
I'm really confused.
There might be one like a fitness one. There might be, because they do all those fitness watches and stuff as well nowadays. Robbins likes the Imperial March song. Yeah, I'm sure that's somewhere. Our car actually takes CD still. We have quite an old car, so we do have a lot of CD mixes, and one of them does have the Imperial March on. I'm pretty sure.
So I have Garmin Explore, that's one I have, and I also have Garmin Drive. Here you go, Garmin Explore and Garmin Drive. That's the two map I have. I hope that helps, Kiwi Lauren. Then we have Clay, he agrees with MB. Okay, everybody's agreeing with each other. What about it? I'm not Darth Vader. Come on. Dog and Pet Supply says the UK Fighter Boys joining a gig at McDonald's. That is probably something to do with music and fast food. Two things that we know nothing about. Yay. And
so with that in mind,
you guys have now understood that me and music, I understand that Laura knows a little bit more about music, to be fair.
Just a tad more, but not anything new. I'm not current whatsoever.
Yeah, what is the... Oh, what was... You were singing some song from Cardi B last time, didn't you?
No, I don't even know what that... I don't even know what Cardi B does. I see her popping up in shows and stuff like I'm supposed to know who that is.
Yeah, it's quite funny. Anyway, all right, guys, I hope that you did find our video entertaining, if not enlightening or informative, maybe. But yeah, we're here to tell you everything about traveling in New Zealand every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And yeah, it's those times around the world.
Yeah.
Over Laura's face for a change.
Okay,
here you go.
Shall I say them or?
There you go. She can hold it if you want.
Thanks.
All right. So yeah. So every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time, we're here to help you plan your trip to New Zealand. You can pop in and ask us any question. If you can't make it, that's okay. Do like Carty this week and just put your question in the comment of any of our videos. We print them, and when we do have some times, we answer your question. But yeah, the best place is to come and hang out live with us and talk about music with us, which we know nothing about, and we're sorry. And that's those times around the world. You guys can read it. Yeah, you guys can read it while I tell goodbye to you guys.
And we also have the link in the description as well to actually tell you when our next live session will be in your country and time zone.
Finally, nzpocketguide.com. There's a link in the description below as well, where we have all the information about traveling in New Zealand. It's literally the largest travel guide to New Zealand. So much information in there. Just go on, browse it, find all the information you want, all our recommendations, all these kind of things. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for popping in. Jeff, Snitch, Maggie, Sherry, Clay, Kiwi Lauren, Kirsty, Aju, Catherine, MB.
Dog and Pet Supplies.
Yeah, Dog and Pet Supplies. Michael Mariano, of course. He says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, if you hit the like button, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Kirsty.
Yeah, Sherry says, good work, guys. There was 30 people here at one point. Oh, that's awesome. I always kind of look at that, but usually around the end, and I'm like, this is when we say goodbye. And obviously, when we say goodbye, people are leaving, which makes sense. I would leave as well if someone says, like, you know, hey, see you next week.
Is over.
I'm already gone. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very, very much, guys. You are awesome, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Yeah. Bye bye.
See you next week, and stay safe.